So next we're going to talk about the meat, poultry, and seafood section, and this is still going to be on that outer perimeter of the grocery store. So for this area, really you're going to be wanting to look for some lean proteins. So for meat, some of the leaner cuts of steaks are actually usually the cheaper ones too, such as the sirloins, the tri-tip, the round, the flank steak. Lean ground beef, this is also a good option to have for tacos or hamburgers, and then you can also get preformed burgers to skip one more step in the kitchen. Pork is another good option that people often forget about. So I know you can usually get some pork tenderloins that are pre-seasoned, and those are easy to just throw in the oven to have for an easy part of a meal. And then pork chops are also pretty inexpensive usually. For poultry, you can usually find inexpensive boneless, skinless chicken breasts or chicken thighs at most grocery stores, and the frozen ones are actually around that same area as the fresh ones at a lot of places. Also in this area, there's a lot of times some frozen, pre-cooked grilled chicken strips. So for these, you can just throw them in the microwave or over the stove, and you can add them to wraps or sandwiches or just have them plain. And that's a good, quick convenience option too. And then for turkey, there's 93% lean ground turkey or turkey tenderloin, and those are both good options. And then lastly here, deli meat. So again, kind of like those chicken strips, you can throw them on sandwiches or on wraps. So they're just a good thing to keep on hand for on the go. Seafood in general is just going to be a little bit more expensive here in Grand Forks. If you're someone who is willing to pay for seafood and you enjoy it, salmon's a good option because it has omega-3s, which is important for inflammation. But the frozen stuff is actually going to be in this area too and is just as nutritious as the fresh salmon too. So smoked salmon, this is another one you can have on hand and is a good snack if you pair it with some whole wheat crackers. And then I always like to have some frozen shrimp on hand. You can get the small ones. There's frozen and pre-cooked without any tails on, so really easy just to pair them with some stir-fried veggies, some sauce, and then some steamer bag rice, and you have yourself a meal in 10 or 20 minutes. So those are another good thing to keep on hand. And then for tuna, you can get fresh tuna, but I always like to get the cans or the packets. They're just easy for on the go, and you can, depending on what you pair them with, you could have them as a meal or just as a snack throughout the day. And then the last thing, just in general, for meat and poultry and seafood, it's always a good idea to stock up if you see things on sale.